I recorded earlier. I said I might record again because it was so early. It was like really early in the morning when I did it. And anyways, there was the whole thing with the neighbor being gone and her dog being outside, right? I was like, oh, and she's just shown such irresponsibility over and over, consistently, no awareness. And so I was like, oh my God, did she just drive off and not even notice her dog was outside? I, I was like, really driving me crazy. And it's cold. And I thought, oh my gosh, that poor dog is probably shivering to death. And, kept going and going and going all day until noon, when the school bus was going to be coming. And then I saw our car coming. So I wanted to see, like, am I crazy? Is Alfie outside? Is he going to run to the car? And it was her husband. So she was there all day. She hadn't left. I don't know. I guess last night I assumed his car was there, but it must have been dropped off. Maybe they made some exchange yesterday. I have no idea, how he got home or anything. It gets dark earlier. Usually it stays dark. This morning it was weird. It was 7 o'clock in the morning and it was bright white outside. And it was lighting up inside my house. I opened the curtains. It was so weird. It has not been like that. I don't know. That was a very abrupt change. But so anyways, I want to talk about this because, I didn't have all the information, right? I assumed by, the typical patterns that went on, and he'd come home and then he'd leave early in the morning. He's a construction worker. And so when I got up and there was light and his truck was gone, that was normal. I didn't think anything. And then when her car left, around the time when the school bus comes, I figured, she went to run errands or something while her daughter was at kindergarten. And I was shocked to see the dog out. But so, and it was consuming me. Like, I kept checking the window like, oh my gosh. And every time there's this construction going on, they're building all these new houses. It's so loud. Oh my gosh. Stella doesn't even want to, she's so consumed. There's these giant trucks. And we live where there's tons of huge rocks. And so when they are moving those rocks to put foundation and stuff, oh my gosh, it's so loud. And these giant trucks and then those noises they make when they're backing up, it's fucking loud. And sometimes those construction guys will go flying down the road. They don't pay any attention to the speed restrictions. They don't go shit. And they'll just go flying. So I kept being like, oh my gosh, is her little dog getting it run over? Because he goes out and wanders in the street. And then when I saw that he had come home and she had been there all day, I was like, what a waste of energy that I sat here worrying about this. And so the thing I want to talk about is like, so how we can get kind of consumed in these things that don't involve us. I've already been having to cut ties mentally with her. Like yesterday I blocked her. But just because, for me, she's a toxic person. That's for me. She could be the greatest person in other people's lives. But for me, she has a bad attitude towards me, and so she's not good for me. And so I had already been doing that, but obviously it wasn't enough. And the thing that makes it even worse is that my windows, if I look out my front windows, I see from my one neighbor's driveway to my other neighbor's driveway. And so I see all my yard, but there are two driveways. And when I look out my kitchen window, I see their gate and driveway. So I have to mentally, there was something in the oven. I have to mentally, myself disconnect. I have to let go. I can't sit here and worry about her dogs or what's going to happen or with their kids or any of that stuff because it's out of my control. There's nothing I can do about it. And that's the thing too with all souls have free will from the beginning. Like when I went and put the soap in my little brother's water, he was a little toddler. And I was irritated when I put the soap in the water, when I very first started really noticing that they were talking to me, and they told me not to do it and told me I was going to get in a lot of trouble. And I still did it. I had free will. I had to go, whatever it was. I needed to act out. I needed to take a stand. Who knows? I was like 3.5 or 4. But anyways, we are a soul from the beginning, and we've lived other lives, and we have free will, and we can't step on other people's free will. And so, I have no control over the situation over there. I can't make something better for somebody, Like, I can be friendly and put out good energy, but, I can't step on this woman's toes and take her daughter under my wing. And, that's where stuff gets out of your control. You have to let go. You can't worry and stuff. And you have to me, I have to put it in perspective of like, okay, even Alfie, is a little dog soul. He knew what he was getting into with this family. Whatever. Maybe he just came to teach her responsibility. I don't know. But the same with their kids. Like they knew what they were in for. I don't need to save anybody or rescue anybody. I don't need to. It's like a God complex too, right? Oh, I can save them. I can do better than you. So a lot of stuff of where us, our own self, have to pull ourselves out of, not just pull ourselves physically out of certain situations or toxic relationships or abusive relationships or whatever, but we also have to mentally, and that's where I think that the ceremonies come in for cutting ties and stuff like that. You can do those, and it depends. Like if I keep feeling tugged, like that's, I mean, looking out the window, that's what I'm going to see. So I have to change my perspective. I have to look at something else, find something in between that gate and my window that I can focus on when I look out the window, so I can stop seeing their situation. Their situation is totally out of my hands. It's out of my control, and I've got to let go. And that really showed me today when I'm sitting here worrying about that poor dog and thinking, what in the hell? How does she just go off and leave her dog outside? And but I mean, it was so much manufactured in my head of stress or worry, and that is where we have to get a hold of our own brain, our own thinking. We can't just let stuff just go out of control. And that was like a little light bulb going off. Yeah, if things are out of our control, we'll drive ourselves crazy trying to control it, because you can't control something you can't control. It's out of your control. You've got to learn to trust some situations or some things. Trust your experience, even when things are rough, to know that they are for your best interest, to teach you, to help you. It has something to do with something you chose. It's always, no matter how things feel, you need to empower yourself to know, I chose this. I know I can do this. I know I can handle this. I know I can make change. I can make change for myself. I can make change for others by simply being nicer to somebody or something, not judging somebody. Like there's ways that we can change relationships and change our perspective of how we look at them. But then, there's a lot of gray. So there's no definites. That's why labels and stuff don't work. Everything is variable. And but in order to I hate it when I forget what I'm talking about. Well, I guess I was done talking about that, or it'll come back. But anyways, if you can just, I don't know for sure what I was talking about, but if you focus on your own parts, you can, oh, I think it was something about making relationships better. Yeah, because I was thinking about, I had heard somebody say, um, you can change a relationship by changing your attitude. And I thought, okay, I understand that on a sense. There's some relationships you can't change with your attitude. There's some relationships that you need to recognize aren't good for you and back out of the situation, or, notice things that are toxic for your own well-being. And then it's your responsibility to take control. But there is a way that you can change relationships by how you look at them, and I think about this a lot with my kids and myself. And there's so much stuff that kids, will hold against you that they could be better if it weren't for whatever's wrong with me. That it's all coming from their perception, so they could see like, oh, this is what's wrong with her. No, this is what's wrong with her. And I'll join in. All these things are wrong with her. And that's what's wrong with me, is she's got so many things wrong with her. And I was watching something, and it made me think like if you can love where you come from and appreciate who you are and appreciate the things in the people you come from, you're going to have a better attitude about yourself. And having a better attitude about yourself is going to, complement your interactions with other people that you come in contact with. But you need to, it is kind of like, you can look at, like, you don't want to just see what's wrong with somebody, kind of. You want to see what's behind what's wrong with somebody. And you, because there was relationships I had to change my perspective of it. And once I did, oh my gosh, it just made things so much better. But how to explain how to do that is, it's like I need kind of a thing to talk it through. That's kind of what I do. Something triggers something, and then I talk about what I see about it, how I see it. But there is ways that you can change your perspective about situations, especially, about life. And if you just are always thinking it's so hard and so miserable, then you are bringing sorrow and misery towards you. And it's going to feel more heavy. But then when you focus on positive, the positive is going to come. So it's like on more levels than one, how you change the thing. But when you change your attitude and you start looking for the beauty and being grateful for everything and just being excited and happy about life just looks beautiful. It just gets more and more beautiful. It's more and more magical. You just start seeing the magic all around you, and how perfect everything really is. And, everything doesn't have to be, you don't have to get along with everybody. It doesn't matter. Just like, why would we try and tell, the Amish community and the Cajun or the Appalachian or, any of these communities that have stuck together without making these drastic changes as we were becoming more civilized and industrialized and stuff. These other communities that stayed more to the roots of their generations, right? Would we ever expect them to go together and say, okay, well, you guys need to figure it out. You guys all need to change, come together. It's like, why can't we just... Oh, God, that scared me. I'm in the oven. I'm cooking some peppers. I'm going to make chili relleno. And I thought it was the peppers making some whistling noise. Hold on. Come on, hurry up, please. she loves to do this little trick. You know, come to the door, tell me she wants in, then I go to the door. Then, and remember, it's a porch on each side. Like there's an exit on both sides of this porch. So she's got to go and look, like she's showing me, I'm out here working, Mom. I got it under control. Oh no, she wants to play the ball. I might have to go. She may just start knocking stuff over. She's definitely a bull in a china shop. She's so cute though. I love that girl. She cracks me up. Yesterday she got to have a play date with this, he's also a Mastiff, but he's a younger one. And he is a bull Mastiff and she's an English Mastiff. English Mastiffs are kind of like they're pretty beefy looking. They're just very big and, broad chests, these big faces and stuff. And he was so cute. He looked like red, kind of, not red, orange velvet, like very velvety, but kind of a rusty kind of orange color. Really pretty. And those ones are cute because they've got like a smush face. Really cute. So it was cute when they got to play. And his parents were so surprised how tiny he looked next to Stella. She said every time they go to the dog park, he's like the biggest one there. And then he comes and bids around like Miss big old girl. Okay, I love you too. Her favorite. Go get water. And then after you get a big old sloppy drink, just come right over here and wipe it right on Mom. It's the best thing, huh? Okay, so it's very hard to think now, so I'll just leave it with that. I wanted to kind of, talk about that as I was like learning for myself ways to change my perspective of this situation by actually out my window physically having to change my perspective. And I'll be talking about it as I'm doing it. I know it's going to be a challenge and it'll be interesting. But that's the thing is like, I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody or trying to act like I'm better than somebody or more perfect. I'm here to learn as well and learn about myself. And that's the whole thing, is that we are all learning about ourselves and it's connecting us together more. And, this is like a really beautiful experience and we're all going through it together. And so, have a great day. And, don't forget there is always someone watching you. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.